coordinate system. So what we already know is the rectangular coordinate system where you have x and y. The x for horizontal distance, y for the vertical distance, and you put it in an order pair form. Now we are moving on to polar coordinate system where now you have r comma theta. Guess what r is? The radius. And theta is the angle. It's a direction, remember? So now you get this like a circle graph, not coordinates. Polar coordinates where you have where you call the center pole, and like positive x-axis is called polar axis. So you go counterclockwise for your theta, the angle, just like the directions. And if you have a point here, the distance from the pole to the point is called radius, r. Okay? So again, r is the radius, theta is the directed angle, so you go counterclockwise. So let's look at an example. So 2 comma pi r3, meaning radius is 2 and the angle is, or radian is pi over 3. So always start from the radian. Where is pi over 3? Here, right? 60s. And where's the radius of 2? Since we have plenty of grid, let's go ahead and go by 0.5. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then at 60, the radius of 2 will be right here. So that point is 2 comma pi over 3. Again, second example. Start from the radian or the angle, direction. It's negative pi over 6, so you go clockwise. So negative is clockwise, pi over 6 right here, right? And where's 3? Here's 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. If you don't scale it, it's always by 1. So since we are increasing by 0.5, scale it, write the units. Any questions? So that is 3 comma negative pi over 6. What about the third point? 11 pi over 6 positive, so we go counterclockwise, and 11 pi over 6 must be here, which is same as negative pi over 6, and radius is 3. So as you can see, it's the same point as 3 comma negative pi over 6. There are 4 different ways to represent one single point on the polar coordinate, which I'll show you in a second. Okay. So here's some rules how you can write the same polar coordinate in 4 different ways. So one is just like what we did. You keep the radius positive. And what do? If you had a negative angle, you add 2 pi, 360 to make it positive angle. If you have a positive angle, then you will subtract 2 pi, which is 360, to get the negative angle. And what else you can do is make your radius negative. If you make the radius negative, it means you go to the other side of the pole. So if you have an angle here, if it's a negative radius, it's referring to the other side of the pole. Okay? So let me go ahead and show you with an example. So here I have 3 comma negative 3 pi over 4. Negative 3 pi over 4. So first find that point. So it is negative 3 pi over 4. So here's pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 225. And the radius is 1, 2, 3. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Pole, yeah. It's the radius is the distance from the pole. Remember the center? So the other one is same radius, but now you just make your radian negative to positive or positive to negative by adding or subtracting 2 pi. That's what this one meant, right? So negative 3 pi over 4 here, that was going clockwise. So now I go counterclockwise, which will be positive radian. And that is what? 5 pi over 4, isn't it? But please don't go ahead and put those marks because it looks like a circle. We write a different equation for those graphs. So any question how I got the second coordinate, which represent the same point? Okay, that's what it means. Add or subtract 2 pi to go from positive to negative, negative to positive. And now the other two, I said there are 4 different ways to write the same point. Now we're going to do the negative radius. Okay? If we put the negative radius, then it refers to the angle opposite side of the pole. So at 45. Okay? That's not the point that we are looking at, but if it says negative radius, you can use the angle opposite to it. So what's the angle of this here? It is 45, which is pi over 4. Or can you also make it negative radius? Negative, what? 7 pi over 4. So you have 4 different ways to write the exact same point right here. So this means what? If you make the radius negative, then you add or subtract pi from where you were. You add pi. This is pi, 180. If the radius is negative, you add or subtract pi. Yes? Yeah, so what's pi over 4? Negative what? Yeah, it's a unit circle. You need to know the unit circle. What is this? How much are you subtracting? Same as this. 2 pi minus 1, which is 8 pi minus 1, 7 pi over 4. You mean scale by 0.5? Yeah. Okay? Go ahead and try this. Name 4 different pairs of polar coordinates that represent S using the degrees now. Oh. So first just start from all positive. So my radius is, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 2 comma. And what's that angle? Positive angle going from polar axis to counterclockwise, that is 165 degrees. Now, keep the radius positive, but we're going to just go ahead and make the angle negative, meaning you go this way. How much would that be? 180 plus 15, so that is 195 degrees, but it's going the other direction, so it's negative. Again, please do not put any marks on the coordinate because it looks like a circle, which is totally different thing than a point. So now, what can we do? We can make the radius negative. So if you use a negative radius, we are referring to the opposite side of this point. So we go here now, right? So now you just got to find this angle. That is 345 degrees, or negative, it's just what, minus 15 degrees.